Hello and welcome to the Energy Basics Foundation course. Uh, this is our learning portal, isn't it?
I hope so.
I hope so. I'm Paul.
This is Syann. Hello.
Hey, how's it going? And so we're pretty informal, always as relaxed as possible. Today we want to discuss energy and all the different types of nuances of energy. And so I've got a list of questions for myself, and we'll be discussing this. So I think that energy is consciousness.
Well, that's the most
Yeah,
commonly asked question.
Yeah.
What actually is energy?
yeah.
It's funny, isn't it, when you actually have to sit down and think about it. What actually is energy?
What is energy? Because the saying is that all energy transmutes.
Or everything is energy.
Everything is energy. We are energy. But in I guess
what is it?
At the basic concept is that energy is consciousness. I mean, we eat and it produces energy. So that is a chemical process that does that. And I guess that leads us into the next area. What is the etheric body?
Oh, well, the etheric body is the energy around your body.
Yeah.
Or your consciousness around your body.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the thing you can feel between your hands if you know how to feel it. It's the thing that little shadow you see around if you're able to see auras.
Yep. Some people call them auras.
Yeah. But I guess at the end of the day, that is the energetic copy of your physical body.
Also, the thing about the etheric body is that it's a mirror image of your physical body.
Yeah.
So just as you've got your physical body, you've got a mirror image in the energy, the etheric body. And so generally with health or unwellness or whatever, that starts in the energy of or the etheric body and then moves its way down into the physical. And that's why quite often people will do energy work and to clear energy or whatever, and then it translates into the physical as well. So the thing is, well, how can I use the etheric body?
Oh,
it's a big
question.
A very, very big question.
It's got lots and lots of answers.
What about people that are psychics may read your energy, may read your etheric body energy, and give information to you about that. It contains all of your life stories, like your life information. And so, as I said before, the etheric body is also a very good litmus test of how well you're feeling as well.
You can heal with the etheric body.
Yeah, you can heal, that's right.
Yeah.
Another thing is that your etheric body can be felt, so you can feel it. The other one is that it can be moved out and then move in as well. So some people's etheric bodies are much closer to them than other people's. Yeah. That's the first.
This course contains practicals about that, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, absolutely.
It does. Yeah. So we'll go through on how you can expand your etheric body and shrink it back down again.
So what do we know about chakras then? Because a lot of people talk about the etheric body, and what they say is that the etheric body has central points in it. Things like your crown chakra, third eye chakra, your communication chakra, heart chakra, solar plexus, sacral, and root chakra. Yeah. And those chakras are used, especially in things like Reiki, to perform healings on people.
If people haven't heard of Reiki, that's like a form of energy healing.
And so with the chakras, quite often a Reiki practitioner will balance out your chakra energy. And generally, most people have blockages of energy in their feet. And so once that happens, people need to clear that so that energy can flow through them. That brings us on to things like meridians, because the body has thousands of meridian points. They're used as acupressure or acupuncture points as well, and they're used to release, levels of energy that are trapped within the physical body as well, that are trapped within the muscles and the cellular fabric of the body. So then, can I feel my own energy? What would you say?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that absolutely comprises the very basic steps of learning to work with energy and then progressing on to other areas like working with mediumship ability. If you can't feel your own energy, then you're probably not going to get very far, which is why we teach it. So yeah, of course you can feel your own energy. It's the movement between your hand. You can move and then feel that across your entire body, and you can feel it on somebody else's body too.
Yeah. The thing about the etheric body is that it's like a river that runs very deep. If you look out across the water, you'll see very slow moving eddies spiraling around. That's the same as the etheric body. The etheric body has motion and movement, and a word that I'm using a bit lately is organic, because it's always growing and changing and moving, and so it's
not fixed.
It's not fixed. It's never fixed, and so you can have more than, you've got your main chakras, but you've also got all of your meridians. So in some respects, the etheric body is a moving, growing organism of consciousness as well.
And I suppose we ought to say that's what people, with the aura, when people say they see auras and they see the different colors in the auras, that's people's perception of the energy body.
Of the state of the energy.
Yeah, the state of the energy body. So, if you look on the internet, you'll see all manner of descriptions. Yellow could mean this, and red could mean that. And, depends which interpretation you want to go by, or you can just work that out for yourself as you go along, which is probably more intuitive and accurate.
What about building energy? What's probably one of the best ways to build energy?
If there's somebody ask you that question,
I would suggest
you'll say breath work.
Say breathing.
Always.
Breathing. Everything for me is to do with your breath work. Your breath work, it's the first thing you do when you're born. It's the last thing you do before you pass over. It's breathing. And breathing has levels of harmonics in it. When we meditate, we learn all about our breath work. It takes a long time to learn how to meditate properly. It also takes a long time to learn about the harmonics of your breath. And of course, if we understand our breathing correctly, we can build different energy states as well. And those energy states can be used to do certain things within our own consciousness. So breathing to me is everything.
Breathing to you is key. If you had said that, it would have rhymed.
Would have rhymed.
Breathing to me is key.
Can I store my energy?
Well, we do.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. In breathing processes, we store our energy in solar plexus area, and then you can release that energy as required. So if you have a very good meditation session, you've got a lot of energy around you, you can breathe that in, you can store it, and then you can allow it to flow through the day. And it can provide healing, it can provide balance and grounding.
Energy.
And energy.
Keep you awake if you're feeling tired.
Yep. Do you think that your energy can be affected by emotions?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, and not just your own emotions, the emotions of other people as well.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
Could be at work, someone says something to you.
Yep.
It affects the way you feel, and of course it affects your energy as well.
Yep.
So,
and it can happen in an instant, can't it?
Yes, and interestingly, it's harder to get back to a grounded state than it is to actually lose the grounded state. That's the problem with energy.
And that's where mindfulness comes into play, which is also what we'll be learning about in this course.
And so I would suggest that if somebody said something to you and you didn't like it, and then it changed the way that you felt, that energy had passed from that person to you, and that you would need to clear your energy and to resolve in some way some of the words that were maybe spoken to you, or some of the things or the emotions that you felt. And so that's also about clearing. And so
I just want to, I'm going to chip in.
Good.
With people always talk about, if somebody's cross at you, or they make a negative comment or whatever, that they're actually just bouncing off you. They're using you as a mirror. They're actually self-reflecting about themselves. And whilst that can absolutely be true, that doesn't take away from the fact that you've still had to then take that on board, which is not very pleasant.
True, very true, yeah. Okay, so how do we know the difference? Like, I always say you need to know your energy, you need to know your breath work. But how do you actually know the difference between whether my energy is clear or not clear? Well, there's techniques for that. And one of them is called the sphere technique. And if you imagine that you're sitting inside a sphere and you've got your eyes closed, you look around and you're looking to see whether two things are taking place. One, is it clear if you look all around up and down? Or is it all one color? If it's all one color and it all looks normal, that's fine. But if it's not clear or it's one color but you see a patch or a distortion inside your own sphere, then you could suggest maybe that you may need to clear that energy. And to do that, you just use your intention to clear your energy as well. And so you go, okay, well, there's a distortion. My intention is to clear that. Because some of the things that happen to us are residual. Something happens, you're driving home, somebody cuts you off, you don't think much of it. Later on, you sort of think, oh, that happened. That's residual energy. So we need to clear those energies from us as well. It's important to know the difference about how you feel normally and then how you feel during the middle of the day and at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because I'll give you an example. You meditate, you feel great, and then you get up, go to work, you're dealing with a lot of people, and next thing you realise that within a few hours, you don't feel the way that you did when you were meditating. Now you're busy, of course, but you feel a bit different. It's really important to understand that at that point, if you recognise that, you could go and spend 5 minutes just breathing again, moving yourself back to that normal state. It's good for your blood pressure. That's the first thing. It's good for your anxiety. It's got lots of health benefits as well. So it's good to do that. It says, well, how do I know that I've actually cleared myself?
Yeah, well, I mean, you've mentioned the sphere.
Yeah, but how would you know that you'd cleared yourself? So you feel that there's something intuitively not right, or my energy feels off.
You can learn to physically feel your own, the vibration of your own energy as well.
Yeah, but if I asked you, how do you, okay, so you've just done the sphere technique, but how do you know that you've actually cleared yourself? What would be a key indicator of that, you think?
How you're feeling.
How you're feeling. Yeah, how do I feel? I feel so much better that I did that. And that's generally a really good indication. It would be as if you went down to the ocean, had a nice swim, or
peaceful, calm, content.
Yeah. And so that's why it's good to ground. And grounding's all about just being settled, allowing the energy to flow through you. And what are some of the ways that you think you've grounded?
Oh goodness, gardening. Yeah, planting, repotting, anything to do with the ground, physically water. Tactile for me. And the bath.
Going out in nature,
in the swimming pool or whatever.
That's right.
Being in amongst the woods.
What about, do you think you could clear somebody else's energy? Do you think that's possible?
I think it's absolutely possible, but until you're fully aware of your own energy and what affects you and how you can be affected by somebody else, it's probably best to wait.
What about crystals? Can I use a crystal to clear my energy?
Yeah, and
I noticed you've got a crystal on there. Which one is that?
That is my space holding crystal.
Your quartz?
My clear quartz. Yeah.
And what does clear quartz do?
Well, I've talked to this crystal a lot, and of course it's one you had for a long time.
Okay.
So it's extra special. And clear quartz holds a very high vibration. It's very clearing. And so when I pop this on around my neck, I'm sort of asking it to keep my energy bubble, my sphere, clear.
What about if you wanted to have a crystal that did, say, healing? What sort of crystal do you think you could use then?
Well,
amethyst? Amethyst, that's that beautiful purple.
Purples and blues. I mean, we're a big fan of blue obsidian, aren't we?
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
lovely, clear energy. Grounding, we naturally gravitate towards hematite.
Hematite,
heavy, high iron content.
Yeah. What are some of the other crystals? Rose quartz.
Rose quartz is, a crystal mostly associated with the heart chakra.
So there are thousands of different crystals.
And we talk about crystals.
And we do talk about crystals.
We do talk about crystals. We talk about lots of things.
Lots of things, yeah.
Everything we've spoken about is in the course.
Well, we can put in a link to about crystals because it's not really possible to talk about thousands of crystals.
Okay.
All right. So, what about if I put all my crystals in a grid? What is a grid?
Well, I wouldn't put them all in one go. It would be a bit like spaghetti junction.
But why do you use a grid? Why do you use a grid?
We use crystal grids for lots of different reasons, but you can use them for self-healing, for sending healing to somebody else. You can use them, whatever you feel like you need in your life, you can address with a crystal grid, whether it's balance, grounding. You can create your own grid using crystals that for you hold that significance. You arrange them in a simple, not overcomplicated pattern, and you put intention towards it. And if you have worked with Reiki, you can charge those crystals with Reiki as well.
Yes, of course, yes. That's right. And the thing is just to finish up on with this short video, is that when we talk about energy, spirit people use energy as well, and so do other races and beings, interdimensional beings. And so if we know our own energy and then the energy shifts around us, then we can go, well, okay, I know how I feel. The energy's shifted around me. Is there something that I should acknowledge with me in the room? Is there a loved one that's come to see me as well?
Yeah.
Because that's what mediums do.
That's right. And that all comes back down to knowing your own energy and knowing how you feel before you start engaging with other energies.
That's right.
So you understand that difference.
That's right. So energy is simple in some ways to understand, and in other ways it's complicated. And it's best to understand your own energy first before you start trying to think about other energies. And people always say to me, well, how do I get to know my own energy? That comes in meditation, from sitting quietly with yourself, asking yourself, how do you feel today? Breathing, linking your breathing to how you're feeling, changing how you're feeling, building the energy. And as you breathe, you build the energy around you as well. And once you have achieved those levels of working with your breath and your energy states, then of course you can move in towards things like mediumship and trance work, energy work. Yeah.
It's the key foundation to anything and everything with working with energy, in whatever format it comes.
That's correct. So thanks for listening, and if you've got any questions, just put them onto the forum.